next 20-30 years. Now, you hear Sanya, your growth rate in it here, or Memuha. I was here to be paid Juma, Emma Nipabe between 50 to 100,000 outside of Omwa Omuyekuya, Juma government sector and trading. I was here to me a Juma Efa in Juma Pobia, directly employed between 50 to 100,000 people. Now that thinking and that planning, no, I was a chassis because yet now Homa Sada no ever 2 years. You be do Honda say you man in your day. You knew what amount for being behind it. And you know, yes, I think your friend of growth poles. And near my bit media see what in Yuma a day, a bar. Now 5 growth poles are you identify as far back as 10 years ago. Edikai airport. Etosumienu Rock City. Etosumiensa tourism development. And 9 sports facilities. And inum educational expansion and infrastructure. Meka tourism development. There's the Yefa Ghana Heninana. Kwahu has the highest concentration of tourism sites than any other kilometer squared in the country. There were close to about 50 tourism sites. I bet me developing a my attraction na edi edwuma eden abre omanfo edwuma bebre. Yeka education expansion and development so a ebitifi hankwa ebitifi Kwahu East District ebitifi constituency. There were university, PUC. There were teacher training college, Abetico. There were vocational training college. Yes, which is under Ministry of Employment and Employment and Labor. Yes, I was APTEC, a technical training college. And then there was secondary school, Ebitifi Hankwa, who expanded to Kwahu East District. There were about 10 secondary schools, about 4 technical and vocational training colleges, who expanded into Kwahu, which is Kwahu West, Kwahu South, Kwahu East, and Afam Plains North and South. You are looking about close to about 30 secondary schools. It is a hub. If this thing is expanded well, a teacher for beba, lecturers beba, semi-cleaners beba, laborers beba, security beba, between Numa Abaha. Yeka, friend is saying, sports development. We are about 700 meters above sea level. And if you look at the way East Africa, because of height, they are able to develop very world-class athletes. We have the opportunity to do so. Every Acheampong North one, every Acheampong South, and very well. Every about 200 meters above sea level. As one can also every was Rama, a higher 700 meters above sea level. And then if you look at the way terrain in Tiana, adding some sports facilities or using even our natural terrain in Kwahu, we can attract very high quality athletes and people in the society, which will in turn create jobs for us. Then the fourth one, I'm going to expand here, Rock City. Now building up to be the biggest hotel in Africa, probably the 48th biggest hotel in the world, well completed. Now, I keep saying this thing over and over again that at 3,000 rooms, if that hotel alone is full, at double occupancy, which is 6,000 people, I will see in your poultry industry, a producer will be a dinkusian you look around the park. As in your poultry industry will come and supply 12,000 eggs every day. And imagine the size of a poultry farmer and a cooperative farms are. And supply 7 Makoka check refi for say from next year tomatoes be omo be biano rock fit nkwa beto ni na ye hwe ma konkonsi for image almost so entono etufo bo na tomatoes na. So you can imagine what is going to happen to agriculture just by setting up that hotel alone. Currently, there were 208 workers. There were 208 workers, excluding construction staff. In a year's time, that number will jump to 700. In 2 years, we are projecting to hire about 1,500 people just to work in that hotel. Excluding suppliers, supplier, farmer expansions, you can imagine, say, close to about 10,000-20,000 people will benefit directly from just that single facility. Then enters the fifth one, which is the airport project. Yes, it's quite an ambitious and audacious project, but we just have to do it. And to do it, the planning must start now. What are we trying to do? I mean, you said Mr. Pidu, the whole of Africa, we are unable to set up something as simple as flight training school, which is one of the things that we want to do, because we don't have the kind of facilities and the airports to be able to do that. Then if you set up a flight training school, you have to set up a maintenance, you have to set up a service, you have to set up security and all those things. That single item now, a flight training school, is going to create close to about 200-300 jobs. And to be able to do that, you need an airport. Then number two, airport, actually, Mr. Pidu tried to explain it. And now the Kokutukari. The Bayern Techimani, any up north, any front place, ever seen Kokutuka International Airport. Well, our airport is probably 500 meters from the Volta Lake. Until near one now, we feel no Fubaninano. Go off the street, put it on the boat, bring it to our airport. Near one now, we feel a front place. I'm going to put them, friend is saying, Kutukani Tema, Aqua shipping. Bring it to our airport here, and then from here you can send it out so that you don't take those agro produce to Accra. But you see, that said, no, it means that you need to create warehousing facilities for this, and everything that comes around this thing, no, is an opportunity for jobs. But what you saying? To set up that agro warehousing, maintenance, servicing, support, and all those things, no, is an avenue for job creation in our area in the next 5 to 10 years. And now you have Burger King, KFC, NTBA, McDonald's. You know, these people, they ship their things from America and Europe into Africa. Into, you know, so how many chicken, how many kakra be Ghana, no matter Nigeria, no because South Africa, no because you see, there is no central processing facility and warehousing facility with an airport at a cost where they can still make margins. So these people are not expanding into this part of town because the facilities are just not there. And we believe that by setting this thing up and setting up the requisite warehousing facilities, no, the global processing centers, no, for example, DHL, FedEx, they need a facility in this country or they need a facility in Africa where they can set up a massive sorting facility next to an airport. They can't afford, because of the way the margins are, they can't afford to, for example, put such a facility in Kotoka Airport. So what we intend to do is to provide an airport and the facilities and attract these kinds of people. Amazon, they don't have an African sourcing and processing center. Abrochi na eba Ghana na se eba Africa. A one-stop shopper. One bit maybe a processing for Africa and then use much smaller planes to deliver or vehicles to deliver in the sub-region. So this is a mindset, this is a thinking. To be able to have an airport where these global warehousing services, can be provided, it translates into jobs. The whole of Africa, say assembly or Africa, any part of Africa. Say yellow corn of the brain, it is stored in Dubai and Europe. African relief warehouses and near to Africa had one the brain or Africa sits in Dubai, and it sits close to an airport. Now fit Dubai Ghana and fit Dubai Echo as a Burkina and free Ghana Echo Burkina. So I sent to Burkina. If I bit many free a content. For now, it's Dubai because the free Ghana is all the faka. And I said, there is no such airport. Of course, there are airports that can be used. And we want to make it such that our airport will attract the African relief warehousing from Europe and Middle East to Ghana. It's one of the key things that we targeted. Yeah, targeted everybody. What will it translate to? Jobs for our people. Then, let's say I'm in Boeing 737 MAX. Any problem, and they had to ground thousands of such aircraft. And I say, if there's a global slump in air travel services, you have to park your planes. But you see, in the aviation sector, so baby are parking plane. I get $300 a day, and then $300 a day, and potentially, if you can have a plane car park, as we call it, to house a lot of planes, the whole African continent, not a single one. And the Brazilians, the South Americans are taking advantage of that. Yes, I see enough in Pantanaya, they call Sadaya, why can't we convert it into such a facility and be able to attract quite some foreign exchange for our country? But you see, beyond that, apart from say you are providing a plane parking service, you need to have a maintenance crew and then a servicing crew. So the car for garage and as the car to see warehouse. That is a servicing. But it is a title drawer. And as a woman is of course parking engine that's maintenance. And you see, you have to train different categories of people to be able to support such a venture. So having that facility around, which is pretty much, close to an airport, paving the ground to be able to park this aircraft. We attract some foreign exchange to the country. We attract a local exchange to the pockets of the workers, and then we create jobs. Of course, if we have such an airport, it's an opportunity to be able to use it for local or sub-regional transport. So we have about 7 or 8 key points. Airport, it revolves around to create jobs for our people, and if we're able to do it in the next 5 to 7 years, it's going to be a long, hard road. The man will be me offer to London. I say, airport Quantana is Lord light airport. You see, when we do these things will naturally come. And when this thing is accepted, some of the basic things will naturally come. Mami feel or Tantra Hill, and asphalt. But airport residential area, na you hold in asphalt because of the airport and the kind of people that live there. So when you do some things, certain things naturally come. Kwahu East and Kwahu, for that matter, will be born in our society in the next 10, 20, 30 years to come. And we shouldn't discount what we're doing. Thank you and God bless you.